Mark is thrilled. He's been accepted to Harvard. But there's one problem. His father has suddenly decided it's time for a lesson in adult responsibility and refuses to pay for his tuition. Mark can't get a loan, so he grabs at his last chance, an academic scholarship for gifted students from Los Angeles. The catch? It's only available to black applicants. Mark decides the end justifies any means. Today, when Western audiences scrutinize every casting choice and every comma in a script dealing with racism or misrepresentation, it's hard to imagine that a movie like Soul Man could have been made at all, let alone released in theaters. Even back then, its premiere sparked a whole string of scandals and accusations, most famously from director Spike Lee, who, in fact, never actually watched the film, relying only on the synopsis and a few clips to conclude that the movie portrayed black people as idiots. Racism is unquestionably a painful and delicate subject, but Soul Man is one of the last films you should accuse of it. On the contrary, it's one of the rare comedies whose creators don't just giggle at racial themes under the cover of light entertainment, but genuinely reflect on them and show why some people have to fight 3 times harder than others. Mark, who dives into this scheme believing that it's the 80s, Bill Cosby, everybody loves black people, quickly learns firsthand that racial stereotypes run far deeper than he ever imagined. Even the obligatory final takeaway isn't simply, now I understand what it feels like, but I'll never understand what it feels like, because I can always go back to being white. You don't have that choice. In its message, and especially in its intentions, Soul Man is a remarkably harmless and even sweet film. But as a comedy, it does have its flaws. It's clear that on the script level it was funny and often witty, but unfortunately that humor didn't make it to the screen without spilling along the way. Director Steve Miner is accomplished and undeniably talented, but when it comes to comedy, he didn't operate at his full potential here, and the film's climax drowns in sentimentality. Thomas Howell, who landed the lead role only after Tim Robbins, John Cusack, Anthony Michael Hall, Val Kilmer, and several other popular young stars of the era turned it down. Certainly brings charm, but he also overacts, and the rest of the cast soon slip into mugging as well. The only person who avoids any criticism is Arye Gross as Mark's best friend. He's wonderfully natural and has a great instinct for comedy. And fittingly, it's in the scenes where the actors stop pushing the emotion and settle into pure situational comedy that Soul Man works best. The film's highlight comes near the climax, when the thoroughly tangled Mark tries to juggle several uninvited guests at once. A half-dressed character played by Melora Hardin, who's fallen for him because she thinks he's black. His parents, who've arrived at Harvard to visit him, and a black classmate played by Ray Dawn Chong, with whom Mark is in love. To some of them, Mark is black. To others, he's white. And to keep the truth from coming out, he throws everything into the mix. A ski mask, his friend's help, and a whole lot of lies. It's classic farce with absurdity, irony, and satire all rolled into one. These very moments are what earned Soul Man its excellent box office returns, untouched by accusations of racism or by critics' dismissive reviews, insisting that such sensitive topics require a gentler touch. Maybe so, but comedy is no less delicate, and attempts to squeeze humor into strict norms and expectations often lead to it evaporating entirely between all the right words. The filmmakers behind Soul Man deserve sincere credit for trying to talk about something difficult in simple language. And while the film has its shortcomings, uneven humor, questionable performances, sentimentality, naivete, there's nothing racist about it.